We are live. We are live. Welcome back to Talk Talk Live. Yes, I have returned, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Let me go full cam on YouTube. We are back. We are live. Thank you very much for joining me. It's going to be a short and sweet episode. Daddy got to work, but I think I owe you a few. So hopefully Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we will be going live on Talk Talk Live this week. And well, today's Wednesday, so Thursday, Friday, we'll be going live with Talk Talk Live with you this week. But thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let me say this: my TikTok numbers seem to be rising for some reason. I seem to be getting through on the tick and the talk, and I thank you very much. If it wasn't for you, then I wouldn't be there. So again, but we are on the rise. We are learning, growing, and striving for more. Again, there'll be more. I'm looking to strive towards more channels. It seems that I have a bit of a grip in the sports world, namely the football world, or should I say European soccer world, and especially with the likes of AFTV. So I'm looking to launch some sort of sports channel in the near future. But right now, that is for neither here nor there, but do look out for that in the coming days and months. But we're back here live on Talk Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's discuss the man of the hour. I think the funniest man on the planet today, and I'm not going to mince words. I'm not going to waste time. Dave Chappelle, should he be canceled? We're going to go through again. Dave Chappelle recently has a new Netflix special called The Dreamer. That I would advise every last one of you to watch. I think it's outstanding viewership. I think it's outstanding. It's the outstanding comedy from the best in the business, and I do hope that. Hold on, let me make sure that this thing is connected in a way. Yeah. I'm just making sure that this is connected. Hold on, just 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to get the sound together here because I am not liking what I'm seeing at all. So I'm just going to get the sound together here. Yes, and yes, and yes. And I do not... There we go. That's better. That's it. So, we're back on the sound. We're back on the live. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers, as always. And we're there talking about Dave Chappelle. Now, Dave has his new comedy special, The Dreamer, is doing rave reviews. But again, Dave is supposedly in hot water, even though he's doing remarkable numbers. And it's all about the Alphabet Gang. It's all about the Pink Mafia. It's all about the LGBTQ2IAQ1324 and all the consonant syllables that there are. Not to say that they shouldn't be represented, but again, they want to be an exalted class, beyond reproach, beyond any sort of comedic, beyond the brunt of jokes. And Dave Chappelle doesn't believe in that. He actually wants to humanize them. He actually wants to make them feel normal, feel wanted, feel loved. But let's get to it right away. We're not going to waste time in here. I'm trying to get this into a half hour. I know. My reputation is trying to get this thing done in a matter of an hour and a half. But that is not the case today because I have some work to do. So we're going to get to the browser. We are going to check this out here from Nate the Lawyer. Like, subscribe to the Nate the Lawyer. He's doing wonderful things in his YouTube streets. And we're going to lead in right away with the bunt of all jokes and with Date's lead in, and hopeful that you enjoy the show. And we're going to break this down quite quickly. This is what's causing most controversy. This is what's starting all of the rhetoric. This here joke. So let's just go into it right now. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live.
Battery alone.
Dave Chappelle is getting canceled for this joke. Let's watch together. All right, so let's check out Dave Chappelle and his joke that's causing people to say his job should be lost, his career should be done, and all this other stuff. Let's see what all the fuss is about.
And the only thing that got me out of that space was a comedian friend of mine, the late, great Norm Macdonald. That's right. Shout out to
Norm Macdonald, Old Town finest from Ottawa. Made it really, really big in the States, especially on Saturday Night Live, and he's a big part of the comic community down there. And yeah, he's very, very much a legend. And R.I.P. to Norm Macdonald. Let's continue.
Norm. And what Norm did, which I'll never forget, is he knew that I was...
I'm going to say this. Norm Macdonald was, a huge star back in the day. R.I.P. Norm Macdonald.
Biggest Jim Carrey fan in the world. Now, I'm not going to go all into...
Sorry, Nate. I beat you to it. Anyways, go ahead.
But Jim Carrey is talented in a way that you can't practice or rehearse. What a God-given talent. I was fascinated with him. And Norm knew that. And he called me up and he goes, Dave, he says, I'm doing a movie with Jim Carrey. Do you want to meet him? And I said, fuck, yes, I do. And it was the first time I could remember since my father died being excited. And the movie was called Man on the Moon. I didn't know any of this. And in this movie, Jim Carrey was playing another comedian I admired, the late, great Andy Kaufman. Yes, and Jim Carrey was so immersed in that role that from the moment he woke up to the time he went to bed at night, he would live his life as Andy Kaufman. I didn't know that. When they said cut, this nigga was still Andy Kaufman. So much so that everybody on the crew called him Andy. I didn't know any of that. Damn. I just went there to meet him, and when he walked into the room where we were supposed to meet, I screamed, Jim Carrey! And everyone said, no! Call him Andy. And I didn't understand. And then he came over and he was acting weird. I didn't know he was acting like Andy Kaufman. Just like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, hello. Andy? Now, in hindsight, how fucking lucky am I that I got to see one of the greatest artists of my time immersed in one of his most challenging processes ever. Very lucky to have seen that. But as it was happening, I was very disappointed. Because I wanted to meet Jim Carrey, and I had to pretend this nigga was Andy Kaufman all afternoon. And he was clearly Jim Carrey. I could look at him and I could see he was Jim Carrey. Anyway, I say all that to say, that's how trans people make me feel.
Okay, so you guys have the full context. Here's the other joke that he made that's causing people to go.
Now, again, before we get into that other joke, I didn't see anything wrong with it. I don't think it makes fun of trans people at all. It just I think it creates a pretense. You think you're meeting someone when you're actually meeting somebody else, and you're supposed to treat them as somebody else. I think it humanizes trans people. But again, when it comes to the LGBTs of the community, they think that is, it's a slight against their humanity, which is ridiculous. I think it makes them human. But let's continue with another joke.
Crazy.
God forbid I ever go to jail. But if I do, I hope it's in California. Because as soon as the judge sentenced me, I'll be like, Your Honor, before you sentence me, I just want the court to know I identify as a woman. Send me to women's jail. And as soon as I get in there, you know what I'm going to be doing? Give me a fruit cocktail, bitch, before I knock your motherfucking teeth out. I'm a girl just like you, bitch. Come over here and suck this girl. God, don't make me explain myself. I'm a girl.
He's like a beast with it. Now, this is what's been going on in the country. For those of you who don't know, there are actual stories like this where men have been put in women's prisons saying they identify as a woman and impregnating women in women's prisons. So he's not even really telling a joke. He's just like reporting the news of what happened. Here's a news report about that same situation. He just told a joke.
2 female inmates.
So basically, it's art imitating life. And that's what most great comedians will do. They will take a piece of life and make it art. Richard Pryor was famous for it. Dave Chappelle, famous for it now. Any comedian worth their salt, any great comedian, be it Lenny Bruce, be it George Carlin, be it Woody Allen, be it Bill Cosby, be it any individual comedian alive or dead, Jamie Foxx, for instance, Kevin Hart is known for this. They ask you to laugh at their pain. They ask you to take a piece of life and not observe it as being a serious idea, but at least take a little bit of levity into it. Because in doing so, you make life that much more bearable. If we all show our crosses to bear, it lightens the load of the cross. But, of course, the Alphabet Gang, the Pink Mafia, really don't believe in crosses. They don't believe that they should be bearing crosses. They believe that everybody else should bear the cross except them. Which only ostracizes them from the group. Lord knows, being a black man, myself, being a minority, myself, having had to subject myself to centuries, my kind being subjected to centuries of ridicule, of murder, of slavery. We've had to make light of said situations in order to do away with the drama of the experience. But, some believe that they are beyond reproach. Some believe that they shouldn't be having to deal with this anymore. Even though they've dealt with it in the past, let's face facts. And they've had to live in the shadows for a certain amount of time, but they never had to, let's face facts. I'm not here to, cross wits with the likes of the LGBT community. Happy Pride. But at the end of the day, they don't believe that they should be the butt of all jokes. They don't believe that they should be, they should be comedic fodder, comic relief. And Dave Chappelle has had twice now to face the ire of said community. Now, again, as I was saying, Dave brings this, takes this from life itself. So, Nate the Lawyer, shout out to Nate the Lawyer. Like, subscribe, comment to Nate the Lawyer. He brings these examples of, indeed, men who identify as women going into women prisons and doing what comes naturally and impregnating these women. Let's go and find out. Let's do it. It's not as if it's a joke. It's real. But it's not a joke that anybody should tell, right?
Inmates are pregnant after they had sex with another inmate at the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women in Clinton. That's the Department of Corrections. Last year, Edna Mahan began housing transgender inmates who identify as female.
In California, biological male criminals are allowed to be housed in female prisons if they identify as women. Women's Liberation Front, or WOLF, a feminist organization which is in direct contact with inmates and staff, tells NTD that at least one woman in Central California women's facility is pregnant as a result of the male inmates. Because pregnancy is private health data, the reports cannot be verified with the prison.
Some of the men have been rounded up and put in segregation on the yard where the woman who is supposedly pregnant. So they've taken 3 of them and put them in administrative segregation.
Lauren Adams.
So, talk about laughing at pain. Instead of extricating these gentlemen from a women's prison because, you know, they've identified themselves as female, but clearly have feelings for women, what they did is they put them into solitary confinement rather than transporting them to a men's prison. Let that sink in. Make that make sense. Yeah. Segregated them instead of extricating them from the prison. However, if they are on good behavior, they can always go back into the general prison population, only for it to happen again. As a, you know, sleight of hand, twist of fate sort of deal. But we're not supposed to laugh at these things. We're not supposed. It's a serious subject. Very serious. Very, 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 very serious, ladies and gentlemen.
Is Wolf's legal counsel. She says several weeks ago, the prison began giving out condoms and providing information about inmates' options if they get pregnant. At the time, Wolf called the new resources a tacit admission by officials that women should expect to be raped when housed in prison with men, where all sex is considered non-consensual by default within the system.
Now, what they're saying is absolutely true. Men and women who are in confinement can't consent to sex. It will be a non-consensual act. So essentially, these women are being blanked by other men in the system. And I think I agree with their assessment that the reason why they're giving out condoms and these pamphlets to tell people about, you know, avoiding pregnancy is because they know the game is going to be played. It's human nature. So now,
sorry to cut you off there, Nate. So now we've come to the conclusion that it's going to happen. Instead of getting these guys out of the prisons, it's going to happen. So arm them with condoms and hope for the best. But this ain't funny. It ain't funny that men identify as women are in female prisons, agreeing to non-consensual sex, allowing for women to get pregnant. Instead of extricating themselves from these cisgendered men, these men born as men, taking on female characteristics and gender I wouldn't say gender reassignment surgery, but gender reassessment, and doing what comes naturally as a woman. Because they're women. They're women. But this is not funny. It's not fun. It's not funny. It's not funny. Let's get to you.
now allowing women into the system, and Dave Chappelle now making a joke saying, hey, I want to now be a part of that system. I'm going to identify as a woman so I can take advantage of the being put in a women's prison rather than being put in an all-males prison. It's funny, but you can't make jokes about things like this anymore. So let's hear the backlash on why Dave Chappelle is now a transphobic monster for essentially just repeating the news.
There is something genuinely depressing about watching Dave Chappelle, who is one of, if not the best comic of our lifetime, reduce himself to the guy who makes trans jokes. And when Dave Chappelle first started telling these jokes, I understood where it came from. Now, I didn't personally find it funny, and it's not because I was offended. It's just because, like, the jokes themselves are not funny. But
yes, they are. Okay, stop.
Because Dave Chappelle is an aging comic who built his career off of being relatable and being kind of like an everyday man and telling relatable stories about relatable people that we as average people could really relate to. But because he's rich and elite and has been for multiple decades, he has lost that sort of that everyday touch in his.
I just want to stop it there. I just want to get this straight. So, Dave Chappelle's the everyman comic, who by telling everyday jokes, the best in the business, as this TikToker here so readily admitted, are some of the best jokes known to comedic history. Got rich by telling these jokes, and now he's not relatable. You're the one who put him on the pedestal, and yet now you don't like him there. Make that make sense. But that is human nature, my friends. You build them up to tear them down. Now you're unhappy with his success. He's made you laugh for all these years, and now he's got this exalted position. No, you can't laugh at him anymore because he makes too much money. Make that make sense. But I'll let her continue with the diatribe. I just see the irony in that.
Life and his stories and his experiences are no longer relatable to people like us. And so because of that, he has to fall back on shock value. And he's not
relatable to people like us, meaning the poor and downtrodden? So this is hate personified. Is that what this is? You're trans. Get the irony here. You're transmitting. Get that? You're transmitting the hate onto Dave Chappelle because he's successful now. So now he has to go to hate jokes. Okay. That's rich. That's interesting. Interesting take on it.
not the only comic who does this. Ricky Gervais does it, Louis C.K. does it, Chris Rock does it. You know, because these men specifically are aging and they're elite and they just don't have like the touch anymore.
They don't have the touch anymore. Let's just do a quick poll here because they don't have the touch anymore. Let's just do a quick poll as to the Dreamer numbers. Netflix numbers. One second. Let's see. Box office numbers. Let's see. Financial information. Yes. Estimates of film, including video sales. The numbers. Let's see here. The financial information from the numbers. Let's do the numbers, shall we? Let's see, because she's saying that, that Dave Chappelle isn't successful anymore. People like Chris Rock aren't successful anymore. People like Louis C.K., who did it on his own, aren't successful anymore. They're not successful. They're not successful. Let's see, you know what? It's not here. Let's go back quickly because I don't have the time here. Oh, 32 million gross. Oh, look at that. It's already made its money back. Oh, no, that's top 10. Wait a second. The Dreamer. One second. The Dreamer. Let's see here. How successful Dave Chappelle. The Dreamer. Netflix. Let's see here. Let's see how successful he is. Oh, he's number 2 on Netflix. Top 10. Really? Okay. That was as of January 9th. Okay, so he's successful there. Dave Chappelle, the dreamer, proves he's obsessed. Oh, he's obsessed with what? I don't know. Let's see what happens there. Let's see. He's still number 1, but taking heat. That was January 3rd. So he's number 2 as of January 9th. Let's see here. So yeah, Dave Chappelle, the dreamer, returns. Let's see if that works out here. Let me see. Yeah, it seems to be still a success, ladies and gentlemen. So, oh, look at that. Well, anyways, let's see here. It's a broken record. New special, but I'd much rather read this part here. The Hollywood Reporter. Okay. Let's see here. No, it's not this one. It's this one here. Yes. 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 As of January 9th, Dave Chappelle's The Dreamer still number 2 on Netflix box office. Look at that, huh? Number 2 English language TV charts from January 1st to 7th, first week of streaming. During that window, it managed 10.2 million views, which is pretty substantial for a 1-hour comedy special. This is the special. This is the special second week on Netflix charts after it jumped to number 5 with just one day viewing under its belt. Let me see. Oh, look at that, eh? Well, isn't that something? So the meaningful paragraph is this. For a guy who is insensitive and punches down at certain people and is elitist now, he is still enjoying, he's still a top 10 on Netflix views and has enjoyed 10.2 million views. I'm sure that's doubled, if not trebled by now, in its 3rd week. And yet he's still out of touch with the community. That's interesting. That's very interesting. That's very, very, very interesting. Let me see if we have any comments out there right now. We're good. And yeah, I'm just amazed. I'm amazed how unsuccessful Dave Chappelle is. But let's get back to this video because I wanted to wrap this up quite quickly. Thank you very much.
"2024, can Dave Chappelle go the fuck outside and touch some motherfucking grass? Like, what is your obsession with trans? I'm 100% convinced, 100% convinced that some trans girl out there is sipping on some mezcal right now, thinking about how she broke his heart into pieces. Because what? We're always in your mouth, bro. Because I think you want us in your mouth. Happy New Year. See y'all later. Dave Chappelle, get a fucking life."
So at this point, it's giving client. I don't know what doll hurt Dave Chappelle. I really don't. But it's giving disgruntled client. It's giving angry trick. It's giving he wanted to kiss on the mouth and she was like, "No, I don't do that. I upcharge for that. If you want to do that, you got to give me XYZ." And he was like, "Oh, no, ma'am." And his ego was bruised, honey, so he went on a rampage. It's giving angry trick. Am I lying? Dolls, am I lying? It's giving angry trick. Oh my God, who goes on to make 3 comedy specials about the dolls because you can't take? Get him some help.
Okay, I don't know what the outrage is for. I think these people are being ridiculously silly, and I think they have issues themselves. But
he said it himself. I could have said it even better. Do you think Netflix cares an iota what these clearly trans and trans-friendly individuals say? They tried on 3 occasions to cancel Dave. And what did Netflix do? They said, no. None of y'all are making us any money. Therefore, we aren't following you. We're following him. Number one. Number two, many a trans comedian out there, and he's actually gone on record on a few occasions to say that trans comedians actually support him on his views. Quite simply, let me see. Porter on Chappelle. Let's go with trans comedian on Chappelle. Let's see. Yes. Let's see here. Here we go. This is from 2021, but it's a bit dated, I know, but I think this fits the bill. This is trans comedian. Yes, Flame Monroe. That's right. I remember here. Yes, Flame Monroe. I will. Let's just go and listen to this right here. Just as a reminder, because again, he's supposed to be giving trick. He's supposed to be giving a man who's clearly not all of his cylinders, and he wants to kiss trans people in the mouth.
Okay, a sneak peek at 2024 from one of my all-time favorite
you guys. I said this one. I don't know how we got there. How? Here we go. Clay Monroe, please step to the...
In one of his more outrageous riffs, Chappelle compares the genitalia of trans women.
Fair use, fair use, fair use. CNN, fair use. Oh. Why is that doing that for some reason? These guys are taking the lowliest piss. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. We will continue here. Let's see if we can play this back again, because I am not getting this at all, but we continue. Anyways, I don't think we're going to get that Flame Monroe thing, so we're just going to follow on with the transcript here. Hopefully we can find it anyway. But a person like Flame Monroe defends Dave Chappelle and what he had to say, and it's right to say it. And I believe I think it was Flame Monroe who I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not gonna consider it gospel or words from his mouth, from her mouth. Sorry, but she defends Dave Chappelle and his right to tell jokes about trans people because it humanizes them. Now, I don't know. Oh God, you know what? Best here. Let's do it this way. Because this is doing my head in, quite simply.
At 53, what's dating like for you?
I'm divorced.
We've already been through this journey before. Lord knows.
2 beautiful children.
Great.
In college.
Oh, okay. We all know the story here, so we're just going to leave it at that. Thanks very much. Flame Monroe on Dave Chappelle trans jokes. Let's go there. I think we're gonna get yes. We're tripping over the wrong shit. Oh, here we go. TMZ. Thank you very much, TMZ. Let's go with this because we have a lot of trans people who. Actually, good. We got Flame Monroe here on her own here, which is great. This is Fox Soul. Okay, I don't know how well Fox Soul will cover this, but anyways, let's just go here right now. This is a bit up to date, and yes. Lord knows Claudia Jordan.
Now he's once again under fire for calling out the transgender community in his new Netflix special, The Dreamer.
Let's go.
The backlash he's been receiving. Do you think it's...
Fuck y'all, for real. I did 9 arenas with Dave, and he told some of these same jokes. Some of them I didn't hear because I was in the green room, I was in the back. But I watched the special, and as a trans woman, a trans person, and Dave is my friend. He considers me his friend. I consider him my friend. But as a trans person, when I watched the special, I was never offended with Dave before. But I think it was the delivery of some of these jokes, because I've heard these jokes. I think they were funny jokes. But I think on the special, he delivered them a little brutal. Let me just say that. And that's still my friend. I'm just being very honest and very transparent. My problem was when the trans girls speak up about Dave saying this or saying that, if we're going to throw rocks at a glass house, we got to make sure that our glass is covered. Because here's the thing, Dave will say something on the podcast, and everybody is mad at Dave or myself for a difference of opinion. He never wished ill will on the trans community. He never wished harm. He never wished hurt. He just made a joke, just like I have a difference of opinion. But we have people in our house. We had a girl in Philadelphia, a trans activist recently, last week, who molested 2 young boys. She's a trans activist. Nobody from the trans community has spoke about that. There's a young lady, a queen in Kentucky named Buffet, who's about to be on a huge reality pageant show, who allegedly embezzled $300,000 from gay pride. She ain't stealing from me. She stole it from y'all because y'all canceled all my gay pride bookings last year. So nobody has spoke about that. My thing is, Dave is not perfect, but if we're going to cover all the bases, then cover all the bases. And when Dave was attacked on stage, Claudia, he talked to me about that. When that guy ran on stage here at the Hollywood Bowl, that terrified him because he thought he was going to die. This is how serious it has become.
So are you saying that sometimes the community sometimes doesn't hold their own accountable, but are quick to hold? Is that what you're saying? I know they already have issues with you've had some issues with the trans community.
Yeah. And all because of difference of opinion. It's not like, no, I never wished ill will, just like he did. He makes jokes. But left up to them and their own devices, it's terrible because everybody is screaming and hollering, oh, he's transphobic. Silence is complicity, what Martin Luther King said. So if we don't speak up our own, they already deem us as sexual deviants and pedophiles and freaks. We should have spoke up and said, hey, that one trans activist, that's not who we are as a people. But nobody has said a word, Claudia. But let somebody say tranny or let somebody say misgendered wrong, and maybe the whole roof is blown off. It is ridiculous to me, and I'm not giving Dave a pass because I've heard those jokes. I thought in The Dreamer, the one that he put out, because on the road it was funny as hell, I thought he was a little brutal with the way he delivered the jokes. It was the same joke, but it was the way he delivered it. It just came off a little cold.
I think that's dope of you to have.
Well, Flame Monroe has come out to say that, as most women would say, it's not the joke. The joke is funny. It's the tone. It's the same thing as saying, it's yes, feminism is a movement that has misled a lot of women, but it's how you say feminism has misled a lot of women that offends women. It's like saying 1 + 1 is 2, but 1 + fucking 1. 1 + sucking 1 is 2. But it's just how you say sucking 1. But it's still the same result. It still comes to the same accord. It humanizes trans people. It's making them more human. Yes, it is a brutal... Listen, people tell brutal ideas about brutal jokes about black people all the time. The fact of the matter is, when black people have rolled with the punches, it made them more human and more a part of society. This is exactly what Dave is doing. Although it may be abrasive to many a trans person, the fact of the matter is they are not without sin. They are not without their own crosses to bear. And that's what makes us human. That's what makes them human. And that's what makes them a whole lot more acceptable to the wider nation. So if Dave has to take a couple bullets as a result, so be it. But he's doing it so that Flame could come out and defend his thing and make her more acceptable to society. He's taking bullets for the trans community. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. But the fact of the matter is, there is a trade-off to it. And the first critic we have out there summed it all up. The fact of the matter is, if you tell a lot of successful jokes, you're going to be successful yourself. But you're not allowed to do that in society because, hey, you have a talent that shouldn't be capitalized on. No, you shouldn't. It's not funny. It shouldn't be funny if you make a lot of money doing it. If that is not Hippocratic to its core and fault, I don't know what it is. But thank you very much, Flame Renmo. Thank you very much to Fox Soul. Lord knows I would not go out searching for Fox Soul, but sometimes they are paragons of truth, and we got to give them their props. So shout out to Fox Soul. Do subscribe to Fox Soul if you are so inclined. Let's finish off the Nate the Lawyer investigation here and give my own conclusion.
Even without that, the first joke I thought it was like a nonsense. It was just like, okay, he tells how this guy's pretending to be Andy Kaufman and everybody got to treat him that sense. He says that's how he feels about, this whole trans thing. Okay, fine. Ha ha ha. Funny, right? I thought it was funny. I thought it was okay. Ha 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 ha. You see somebody who is a guy, but you have to treat them as a woman. That's the analog there. Okay, fine. You think that's offensive? That's fine. You don't have to laugh at that, but it's a joke. The second joke, I think he just literally could have just read the headline. Hey, read this headline. And this headline says, man identifies as a woman, gets put into women's jail and impregnates women. Now, you can see they're even handing out condoms in prison because of the problem. So I think
art imitating life, making it funny. That's the essence of joke telling. But we are not supposed to tell these jokes. It's too serious a subject. We're not supposed to laugh at the hypocrisy of the world because it shouldn't be laughed at simply because it shames a community that, shouldn't be shamed at all. Should not be joked about. They are beyond joking. They are beyond reproach. They are beyond human. They are superhuman. They're superhuman. Remember.
Him just relaying that's an issue, that could either be a news report or a joke. Because it's the same thing. But I think the real issue here is clear. Is that they want to have this protected status where no one can make fun of their interactions or their perceptions of trans people. Right? If they're not saying that it's all good and it's all roses, then you should lose your job and be canceled and have those consequences, which is ridiculous because it's antithetical to free speech. It's almost like they're saying they don't want to be treated like everyone else, but yet they want to be treated like everyone else. Let me explain it.
So and he's absolutely right. Before he goes into the diatribe, he's literally trying to say that they are a special breed. They are beyond reproach. They don't deserve to be made fun of at all. Because they are superhuman. They are beyond free speech. They are beyond meat. Pause. They are beyond meat. They are the best of humanity. And therefore, they are deities in and of themselves. And therefore, they should never be made fun of ever again by the world at large. And only those with a special status and with special credentials can do so. Therefore, themselves. It's like black people saying, hey, you're white, you can't make fun of black people unless you're a black person. And black people are made fun of all the time by everyone else. But again, they're a protective species. They are beyond free speech. They are beyond meat. Pause. They are beyond meat. Trying to humanize them, but no, they are superhuman. Remember that. They are superhuman. So the laws don't apply to them. Free speech does not apply to them. Because they're beyond meat. Oh my God. Let's continue.
Other groups, you can make these type of jokes and not have any issues, right? They'll be funny. But with the trans community, you make a joke about them and you should be fired. But if their goal is to be treated just like everyone else, to be integrated in society, so when you see a trans woman or a trans man, it's no different than seeing a real woman or a real man, right? It's absolutely the same. Then you would want to integrate everything. You want to integrate the fact that you could be made fun of. You want to integrate the fact that you could use the bathroom. There shouldn't be any difference. But by making this such a difference where you can't make fun of us, then you're automatically telling us we have to treat you differently. We have to treat you separately than we treat everyone else. And I didn't think that was the goal. I think what Dave Chappelle's doing is just saying, hey, it's fair game. The trans community is fair game. The black community is fair game. The white community is fair game. When he makes jokes about black people and calling us the N-word, no one is saying anything wrong, right? No one is saying anything negative about it. Why? When he makes fun of white people, no one's saying anything negative. When he makes fun of Hispanic people, right? So I think he's an equal opportunity harasser of communities, if you want to call him that. But that is...
And that is the point! If you're making fun of black people, white people, Hispanic people, gay people, trans people, lesbian people, you're humanizing these people. You're making them one and the same as yourself. The moment you turn around and say, we can't be made fun of, we're trans people. You can't be made fun of, we're lesbians. We can't be made fun of, we're gay people. You're just playing with fire. Because you would not be considered fun. You would not be considered people to hang out with. You would not be considered human. You're not considered human because you're not to be made fun of. You are a deity. You're a demigod. Is that what you want to be considered, trans people? Is that what you want to be considered, gay people? Is that what you want to be considered? Any one of the LGBTQ community. Demigods. Mutants. Beyond human. Beyond meat. Because if that's the case, then I'm sorry to say, it makes you a part of human nature. We build you up to become these pedestalized individuals only for you to be torn down, and not in the nicest of ways. And I do not advocate violence as such, but with humanization comes tolerance. And with tolerance comes love. And with love comes happiness. And with happiness comes humor. And with humor comes comedy. So be human, for Christ's sake. I'm asking trans people, I'm asking lesbians, I'm asking gays, I'm asking anybody in the LGBTQ, don't consider yourself outside of free speech because we're trying to make you as human as possible. And the minute you believe that you are demigods, beyond meat, and superhuman, the more that you will be a victim of vitriol and rebuke. Dave's doing you a justice. He's doing you a solid. He's doing you a service. What he doesn't need, what he's not doing you is a slight. Even the nastiest of jokes makes you better off for all of us. Because now you're considered one of us. I'll let my man continue and finish.
It's comedy, and that's why he's good at what he does. All right, so listen, there may be some people with different opinions. Let me know in the comment section if your opinion of this whole Dave Chappelle controversy is different.
Excellent work by Nate the Lawyer. Thank you very much, Nate the Lawyer. Do subscribe to Nate the Lawyer. He's doing wonderful things in the YouTube streets. He's about, 406,000 subscribers. I wish I had his numbers, to be fair, but he's doing wonderful work. Shout out to Dave the Lawyer. Shout out to Dave the Lawyer. Let's just get back to the main stream and finish off with this episode here, because I gotta go. Dave Chappelle. The fact of the matter is, let's just get this straight to my LGBTQ 21A friends. He isn't going anywhere. I'll just say that right now. He is not going anywhere. Dave Chappelle is one of the more successful comedians in the world. And if you think that Netflix is going to turn his back on him for you, you're mad. Unless he does something so heinous that he has to be canceled. It's not going to happen because Dave is too smart for that. And Netflix is too smart for the fact that he makes them so much money that they're not going to turn back on him for a bunch of people who clearly do not watch the whole show, but only the one joke about trans individuals, and so they're not paying for that. Let's face facts. They're not doing that. A minority of people are doing it. The minority of the LGBTQ1A community are doing that, especially the trans community. They're not doing it. They're just listening to that joke, and then they're just throwing itself on TikTok, which is free. So, But let this be said as well. Dave Chappelle is doing you a service, as I said. He's making you human. He's making you the butt of a joke so that you are accepted by society at large. Because if you can crack on an individual, especially coming from a man's point of view, if you can crack on an individual, you're more accepted than ostracized. Now, if you want to be taking the ostracized route, so be it. If you want to be a protected species, so be it. If you want to be unethical, if you don't want to be taken seriously by society, so be it. But Dave's trying for you. As abrasive as he is, he's trying, but you don't want to take that bait, do you? But oh well. What can I say? All we can do is hope that you come around someday and accept the fact that jokes make you human, and if you're a part of humanity, then you're accepted. And if you're more accepted, then your lifestyle is more accepted. If your lifestyle is more accepted, guess what? You're not beyond meat. You're not a demigod. You're not a deity, as you wish it to be at this point in time. You don't want to be a deity. You don't want to be a god. You don't want to be a demigod. You don't want to be beyond meat. Because if you do, then, as in human nature, your chances of being torn down and taken off that pedestal ever increase. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. This is a very, very quick show. It's within the hour. And we're going to go back. We're going to be back tomorrow night with another show. I don't know what yet, but we will just look out for my TikTok. My TikToks are up. They're really, really up. And I thank you very much to the wider community on Talk Live for helping me out in that department. Also, I want to thank you out there for liking and subscribing. Please like and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're doing that. We're going heavy as the year progresses. And we'll be diversifying as well, so look out for that. But thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We're going to wrap it up here. I got to run. And as I have a few people to call and a few things to write, and we'll move on from there. And I thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment, and roll to 1,000 subscribers. And good night from Toronto on IG. And good night from Talk Talk Live on YouTube. More things to come, more things to share, greater changes to make. But again, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live, and we'll be back tomorrow night with a new subject. Not knowing about it yet, but I thought I just want to get this out there to let you know I'm still here. Thank you very much for your TikTok views. They are on the up, on the rise, and look forward to speaking to you again in the very near